How's it going, everyone? This is the George here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Alien Romulus. This is the seventh Alien film in the franchise. This time directed by Fede Alvarez and stars Kaylee Spaney, David Johnson, Isabel Merced. And in this film, which takes place in between the first Alien movie and Aliens, we are introduced to a group of colonists who are trying to leave this planet for a better life. So they go to an abandoned spacecraft only to discover aliens, face huggers, xenomorphs, and are trying to escape and survive in this very suspenseful science fiction movie. And it is very suspenseful. Before I get more into it, yes, I know it's been a couple weeks since I've done a video. Just been busy, but I got some free time now, and I'm back to reviewing movies, watching movies, and I got some streams coming up. But let's get back into Alien Romulus. Now, as far as the Alien franchise goes, I began watching this franchise my freshman year of college. I discovered Alien on TV one night after school, after I got done with some work and dinner. I got really hooked onto the movie right away. It was a great blend of science fiction and horror. Then that following summer, I got to watch Aliens for the first time. And, being a fan of James Cameron's style, I love the action of Aliens. And personally, for me, even though I think both movies are terrific and two of the best movies ever made, I think Aliens, I just prefer Aliens slightly more than Alien, but they're both terrific movies. But since then, this franchise has kind of struggled to find its footing, to find something that works. Now, it's not like every movie that's come out in this franchise since Aliens has been bad. Personally, I like Prometheus. I think it's a decent movie. It's very ambitious and it does try doing something different with the franchise, which I appreciate. But I also know that not everyone appreciates that movie. Alien Covenant, I don't think it's bad. I think it's okay. Just not something that I love or enjoy a whole lot. I will say that those two movies are definitely better than what we got before Prometheus and after Aliens. And I was very curious what they were going to do with this movie because the trailers looked really good and it felt like they were going back to what made the first film terrific and a classic, entertaining movie that most people love or everyone loves. I don't know. I don't know what everyone's cup of tea is. I know not everyone's a fan of horror and science fiction, but basically a movie that a lot of people love. And also, this is the first Alien movie to come out with Disney owning 20th Century Fox. So I was kind of curious how they're going to handle it. But I've noticed like a pattern with certain 20th Century Fox franchises that Disney has helmed since that acquisition was made. Movies like Prey, King of the Planet of the Apes, and Avatar: The Way of Water. Those movies were very good. It, even great, I would say, in some regard. So I was very curious to see what was going to happen with Alien Romulus. And this continues that trend of Disney surprisingly treating these 20th Century Fox movies very well. This is a great movie that obviously goes back to the roots of the original Alien movies, the first two Alien movies. And what I mean is the horror aspect of Alien. As I said, this is a suspenseful movie that has quite a few jump scares. There are a few moments that even shocked me. The cinematography to capture that horror was done very well. Fede Alvarez is a director with a horror background. He's made some pretty solid horror movies. His 2013 Evil Dead movie, I think, is one of the better horror remakes or reboots, retoolings, whatever you want to call it. Don't Breathe was a very good horror movie that came out back in 2018. So this is someone who understands horror very well. And he captured it so well, especially in regards to the facehuggers, the aliens that latch onto the face and plant the xenomorph alien seed in someone that eventually rips out of them. This was like the first time I was really freaked out by them. Usually they don't freak me out. minor spoiler for the movie. The movie's been out for almost a week. But there's a scene where some of the characters are in this room, and the face huggers they're hatching. They're coming out, and they're in the water, and they're trying to jump onto the characters, and you don't know what character that they're gonna latch onto, and if they're gonna be successful or not. Little stuff like that alone just builds up great tension and suspense. And speaking of horror and suspense, the third act. I know I'm jumping the gun talking about the third act, but without spoiling it, the third act is one of the craziest, most bizarre, but suspenseful third acts in a horror movie or any movie that I've seen in the last few years. And I loved it. It was just one of those WTF moments, I'll say. Just great suspense and a great build too. There's a few moments that build up in the movie, but it's like the small details that build it up. I love how that was handled. As far as the acting goes, Kaylee Spaney did a terrific job in this movie. She was terrific in Civil War, which came out earlier this year, and she's once again great in this movie as well. David Johnson as Andy, the android who is her adopted brother. He's looking out for her. He does a very good job as well. There's some human characters in this movie. There's some that are on this team, this like scavenger team that she's on, that are likable, that you hope make it out alive, and then you got some that are jerks. There's this one guy that's being a jerk to Andy the whole time, and it's like, ugh, I could care less if the xenomorph or whatever takes him out because he's just being a jerk. He's like the stereotypical horror movie character that makes all the poor decisions. That's the jerk that eventually is going to get what's coming to him. And speaking of the xenomorphs look incredible. They're scary. I mean, there's a lot of them in this movie. Do a great job with that. Love seeing them. This was actually like the first Alien movie that I saw on the big screen. All the Alien movies that I've seen have been on either streaming services or TV. This was the first time I saw on the big screen, and it did not disappoint. Now, as I said, this goes back to the first two Alien movies, the horror aspect of Alien, the action aspect of Aliens. As far as does it do anything unique or risky, I wouldn't say it does anything unique and risky outside of the third act, how they approach the third act of the movie. As far as risky goes, this movie didn't have to do anything like crazy risky like other movies do. I feel like all this movie had to do was go back to why we love this franchise to begin with, what made this franchise special in the first place. And I think it did its job very well. And also the visuals. The visuals look really, really good. At a time when I've been worried about movie visuals because we're not giving enough time for the VFX people, the visual effects people to work on visuals. Here the visuals look really good. I really liked how they look. But yeah, as far as Alien Romulus goes, this is a movie that's going to bring old fans back in. This is a movie that I think will bring new fans in. So for anyone who have seen, this is the first Alien movie that they've seen. Basically, sorry if I'm getting my words jumbled. If this is the first Alien movie that anyone has seen, it's likely going to get them invested into the older Alien movies. The performances I thought were very good. The suspense, the horror aspect, they did a very good job. Third act, like I said, crazy. You know, I'm a fan of both action and horror movies. I've become a big fan of horror since college. Well, actually, no. My senior year of high school, when I watched Nightmare on Elm Street, that's when I got into horror movies. But yeah, I've been a big horror fan for nearly a decade. Been a big fan of action for a long time. And those two aspects, they nailed very well, particularly in the third act. Um, I hope they make more Alien movies like this. I definitely wouldn't mind Fede Alvarez directing more movies in this franchise. Um, The 20th Century Fox franchise is coming back with new movies. They're off to a really good start with Prey, Avatar: The Way of Water, King of the Planet of the Apes, and now this. And overall, my final score for Alien Romulus is going to be an A minus. It's not as good or memorable as Alien and Aliens. There is obviously that fan service that does bring the nostalgia vibes back, but it doesn't get on your nerves. If anything, it's welcoming because this is what the Alien franchise has needed for a while. And maybe with the next Alien movie, they can start doing that more unique, risky stuff that could pay off. But for this movie, especially considering, according to the timeline, it takes place between Alien and Aliens, it needed to go back to those basics. And it took those basics up a notch for a modern day film. And yeah, Alien Romulus. This was a great movie. I highly recommend you check it out. I had a great time at the theater. And what are your thoughts on Alien Romulus? Have you seen it? What you think about it? And what's your favorite movie in the Alien franchise? As I said, Aliens is my personal favorite. Let me know in the comments down below. And I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe already if you haven't. Please share this with someone that likes the Alien movies. And I hope to see you guys real soon. Take care, everyone.